I don't think he could have heard it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he didn't hear it. I mean, with the yell noise and
What are
everything.
you people talking about?
Well, it stands to reason.
Oh, you're crazy. Why should he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
Oh, you keep coming up with these bright sayings. Why don't you send one into a newspaper? They pay $3.
Hey, what are you talking to him like that for? Hey, a guy talks like that to an old man, he ought to get stepped on, you know?
Get your hand off me.
You ought to have some respect, mister. You say stuff like that to him again, I'm going to lay you out. Go ahead, say whatever you want. Why do you think the old man might lie?
It's just that I looked at him for a very long time. The seam of his jacket was split under his arm. Did you notice it? I mean, to come into court like that. He was a very old man with a torn jacket, and he walked very slowly to the stand. He was dragging his left leg and trying to hide it because he was ashamed. I think I know him better than anyone here. This is a quiet, frightened, insignificant old man who has been nothing all his life, who's never had recognition, his name in the newspapers. Nobody knows him, nobody quotes him, nobody seeks his advice after 75 years. That's a very sad thing, to be nothing. A man like this needs to be recognized, to be listened to be quoted just once. This is very important. It would be so hard for him to recede into the background.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me he would lie just so he could be important once?
No, he wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he'd make himself believe that he'd heard those words and recognized the boy's face.
That's the most fantastic story I ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
Gentlemen, this case is based upon a logical and reasonable progression of facts. Let's keep it there.
Facts may be colored by the personalities of the people who present them.
Does anybody want a cough drop?
I'll take one.
Say what you like. I still don't see how anybody can think the boy's not guilty.
Well, there's another thing I'd like to go over for a minute. I think we've proven that the old man couldn't have heard the boy yell, "I'm going to kill you," but
You
supposing...
didn't prove it at all. What are you talking about?
But supposing you really did hear it. This phrase. How many times has each of us used it? Probably hundreds. I could kill you for that, darling. Junior, you do that again, I'm going to kill you. Come on, Rocky, kill him! We say it every day. It doesn't mean we're going to kill someone.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to give us here? The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you," and the kid screamed it out at the top of his lungs. Don't tell me he didn't mean it. Anybody says a thing like that the way he said it, they mean it.
Well, gee, I don't know. I remember I was arguing with the guy I worked next to at the bank a couple weeks ago, so he called me an idiot. So I said,
Oh, look, this guy is making you believe things that aren't so. The kid said he was going to kill him, and he did kill him.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you really think the boy would shout out something like that so the whole neighborhood could hear it? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Right. He's a common, ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
You've heard
Are
me.
you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
The vote is 9-3 in favor of guilty.
Oh, if this isn't delivered in, what are you basing it on? Stories this guy's telling you? You gotta be writing for Amazing Detective Monthly. He'd make a fortune. Look, kid, the facts are staring you in the face, and every one of them says the kid killed his father. But quite honestly, even as a lawyer knew he didn't stand a chance. Right from the beginning, you could see it. He deserves the chair.
Oh, does he? You know, it's happened before that someone's been convicted of murder and executed, and years later someone else has confessed to the crime. Sometimes the facts staring you in the face are wrong.
Hey, I'm talking to him, not to you. Get a load of this guy, will you? Look, the kid had an attorney, didn't he? The lawyer represented his case, not you. So how come you got so much to say?
The lawyer was court appointed.
So what does that mean?
Well, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean he didn't want the case. It could mean he resented being appointed. It's the kind of case that brings him nothing, no money, no glory, not even much chance of winning. It's not a very promising situation for a young lawyer. He'd really have to believe in his client to make a good fight, and as you pointed out a minute ago, he obviously didn't.
Oh, sure he didn't. I mean, who in the hell could? Except maybe God come to earth or something. Come on, look at the time.
Oh, pardon me. I have made some notes here.
Notes here?
I would like please to say something. I've been listening very closely, and it seems to me that this man here has some very good points to make. From what was presented in court, the boy looks guilty, but maybe if we go deeper...
Come on, will ya?
There is a question I would like to ask. We assume the boy committed murder, stabbed his father in the chest and then ran away. This was at 10 minutes past 12. Now, how was he caught by the police? He came home at 3 o'clock or so and was captured by 2 detectives in the hallway of his house.
Yes.
And my question is, if he had really killed his father, why would he come back 3 hours later? Wouldn't he be afraid of being caught?
Look, he came back to get his knife. It's not nice to leave knives sticking around in people's chests.
Yeah, especially relatives.
The boy knew that there were people who could identify the knife as the one he had just bought. He had to get it before the police did.
Now, if he knew the knife could be identified, why would he leave it there in the first place?
Well, I think we can assume he ran out in a state of panic after stabbing his father, and that when he finally calmed down, he realized he had left the knife there.
No, then this depends on your definition of panic. I mean, he was calm enough to see to it that there were no fingerprints on the knife. Now, where does this panic start and where does it end?
Look, you can forget all that other stuff. He still came home to dig out his knife and get rid of it.
3 hours later?
Sure, 3 hours later.
If I had been the boy and I had killed my father, I would not come home 3 hours later. I would be afraid the police would be there. I would stay away, knife or no knife.
Now, listen, you voted guilty, didn't you? What side do you want?
I don't believe I have to be loyal to any one side. I'm simply asking questions.
Well, this is just off the top of my head, but if I were the boy and I'd, done the stabbing and everything, I'd take a chance to come back for the knife. I'll bet he figured no one had seen him and the body wasn't even discovered yet. After all, it was the middle of the night. He probably thought no one would find the body until the next day.
This is my whole point. The woman across the street testifies that a moment after she saw the killing, that is, a moment after the L train went by, she screamed, and then went to telephone the police. Now, the boy must have heard that scream and known that somebody saw something. I don't think he would have gone back if he had been the murderer.
2 points. 1, in his state of panic, the boy might not have heard the scream. Perhaps it wasn't very loud. 2, if he did hear it, he may not have connected it with his own act. Remember, he lived in a neighborhood where screams were fairly commonplace.
Right. Here's your answer.
Maybe. Maybe he did stab his father. Didn't hear the scream, did run out in a panic, did calm down 3 hours later and come back, try to get the knife, risking being caught by the police. Maybe all of those things are so. But maybe they're not. I think there's enough doubt to make us wonder whether he was there at all during the time the murder took place.
What do you mean doubt? What are you talking about? Didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house? He's twisting the facts here, I'm telling you. Well, did or didn't the old man see the kid running out of the house at 12:10? Well, did he or didn't he?
He says he did.
He says he did. Oh boy, how do you like that? Well, did or didn't the woman across the street see the kid kill his father? She says she did. You're making it like it don't matter what people say. What you want to believe, you believe. What you don't want to believe, so you don't. What kind of a way is that? What do you think these people get up on the witness stand for? Their health? I'm telling you, men, facts are being changed around here. Witnesses are being doubted. There's no reason for it.
But witnesses can make mistakes.
Oh, sure, when you want them to, they do. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's hold the yelling down.
You keep saying that. Maybe what we need in here is a little yelling. These guys keep going off in every which way. Did hear the scream. Didn't hear the scream. What's the difference? They're just little details. You're forgetting the important stuff. I mean, all of a sudden, everybody's in here like this.
Mr. Foreman, I want another vote.
Listen, I'm talking here.
There's another vote called for. How about taking seats?
What are we gonna gain by voting again?
I don't know. The gentleman asked for
Saw so much time spent on
It
that.
only takes a second.
Well, I guess the fastest way is to find out who's voting not guilty. All those in favor of not guilty, raise your hands. It's still the same. 1, 2, 3 not guilties, 9 guilty.
Yeah, so now what do we do? I mean, we could yakety-yak till next Tuesday in here. Where's it getting us?
Pardon. I vote not guilty.
Oh, what are you talking about? People are going crazy in here or something. This kid is guilty. Why don't you pay attention to the facts? Listen, tell him, will you? This is getting to be a goddamn joke. Vote is 8-4 in favor of guilty. Everybody's heart is starting to bleed for this punk little kid, like the president just declared to love your underprivileged brother week or something. Listen, I'd like you to tell me why you changed your vote. Come on, give me reasons.
I don't have to defend my decision to you. I have a reasonable doubt in my
Oh,
heart.
what reasonable doubt? That's nothing but words. Here, look at this. The kid you just decided isn't guilty was seen ramming this thing into his father. Well, look at it, Mr. Reasonable Doubt.
That's not the knife. Don't you remember?
Brilliant. I'm telling you, this is the craziest. I mean, you're sitting here pulling stories out of thin air. You know, what are we supposed to believe? I'm telling you, if this guy had ringside seats at the Dempsey Furpo fight, he'd be telling us Furpo won. And what about the old man? Are you trying to tell me he didn't get out of bed and run to the door and see the kid tearing down the stairs 15 seconds after the killing? He's only saying he did to be important or something.
Wait a minute.
Oh, and the Milwaukee Rooter is 5 years.
Did the old man say that he ran to the door?
Ran, walked. What's the difference? He got there.
No, he said he walked, or he ran, at least I think he did.
Yeah, I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could have run.
He said he went from the bedroom to the front door. Now that's enough, isn't it?
Wait a minute. Where was his bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere. I thought you remembered everything. Don't you remember that?
No. Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see the diagram of the apartment.
Oh, why don't we just have him run the whole trial over, just so you can get everything straight?
Mr. Foreman,
All right, what's all this for? How come you're the only one in the room that wants to see exhibits all the
I
time?
want to see it all.
And I want to stop wasting time.
If we're going to start waiting through all that business about where the body was found, I don't think it's...
Not unless someone else wants to. But I'd like to see if a very old man who drags one leg behind him when he walks because he had a stroke last year can get from his bed to his front door in 15
He
seconds.
said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
No, I'm telling you, he said 20. What are you trying to
He
do?
said 15.
Well, how does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge that kind of thing.
He said 15 seconds. He was very positive
He's
about
an
it.
old man. You saw him. Half the time he was confused. How can he be positive about anything?
I don't see what we're going to prove here. The man said he saw the boy running out.
Well, let's see if the details bear him out. As soon as he heard the body hit the floor, he said he heard footsteps running toward the front door. He heard the upstairs door open and the footsteps start down the stairs. Now, he said he got to his front door as soon as he could. He swore it couldn't have taken him more than 15 seconds. So if the killer began running immediately.
Well, maybe he didn't.
Well, the old man said he did.
Hey, you know, you ought to be down in Atlantic City at the Hair Splitters convention.
Okay, baseball, why you gotta make smart comments all the time?
Hey, listen, my friend, for your $3 a day, you gotta listen to everything.
Well, now that you got that thing in here, what about it?
All right, may I? This is the apartment in which the killing took place. Now, the old man's apartment is directly beneath it and exactly the same. Here are the L tracks, the bedroom, bathroom, another bedroom, kitchen, living room. Here's the hallway to the apartment, the front door to the apartment, and the outside stairs. The old man was in bed in this room. He says he got up, went out into the hall, went down the hall to the front door, opened it, and looked out just in time to see the boy racing down the stairs. Am I right so far?
That's the story for the 19th time.
15 seconds after he heard the body fall.
Correct.
Now the bed is up toward the corner of the room. It's about 12 feet from the bed to the bedroom door. According to the testimony, the length of the hall is 43 feet 6 inches. Now he would have had to get up out of bed, walk 12 feet to the bedroom door, open it, walk 43 feet to the front door and open it all in 15 seconds. Do you think he could have done it?
Sure he could have done it.
He couldn't walk only very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
Making it sound like a long walk. It's not.
For an old man who had a stroke, it's a long walk.
All right, this is the old man's bed.
What's going on here?
I want to try this thing. Let's see how long it took him.
Well, what do you want to mean you want to try it? Well, why didn't the kid's lawyer bring it up if it's so important?
Well, maybe they just didn't think of it.
What do you mean he didn't think of it? You think the man's an idiot? It's an obvious thing.
Did you think of it?
Listen, smart guy, it doesn't matter if I thought of it.
Okay, let's hold it
He
down.
didn't bring it up because he knew the answer would hurt his case. Now, what do you think of that?
Okay.
All right, here's the bed. And I'll pace off 12 feet, the length of the bed.
You're crazy. You can't recreate a thing like that.
I'd like to see it.
All right, this will be the bedroom door. Since the length of the hall is a little over 43 feet, I'll pace down to that wall and then back again, okay?
This is absolutely insane. What's the idea of wasting everybody's time here?
According to you, it'll only take 15 seconds. We can spare that. All right, this is the door to the outside hall and the stairway. It was chain locked according to the testimony. Okay, who has a watch for the second?
Oh, I have.
All right, when you want it to start, stamp your foot. That'll be the body falling. Time me from there.
Hey, anybody for charades? Never seen anything like this in my whole life.
Okay, I'm ready.
Come on, snap it up.
I want to wait till the second hand reaches 60.
Oh, come on, snap it up. You walk twice as fast as that.
This is, I think, even more quickly than the old man walked into the courtroom.
If you think I should go faster, I will.
Come on, will you? Let's get this kid stuff over with.
Chain lock, door, stop.
Right.
What's the time?
15, 20, 30, 42 seconds exactly.
42 seconds. This is what I think. The old man heard the fight between the boy and his father a few hours earlier. Then, while lying in bed, he heard the body hit the floor of the boy's apartment upstairs. He heard the scream from the woman across the street. He got up, tried to get to his front door, heard someone racing down the stairs, and assumed it was the boy.
I think that's possible.
Assumed? Now listen to me, you people. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day, but this little display takes the cake. You come in here with your sanctimonious talk about slum kids and injustice, and you make up some wild stories, and all of a sudden you start getting through to some of these old ladies in here. Well, you're not getting through to me. I've had enough. What's the matter with you people? Every one of you knows this kid is guilty. He's got to burn. We're letting him slip through our fingers
Slip
here.
through our fingers? Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Maybe you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you bet I'd
I'm
like to
sorry
pull
for
the switch.
you.
Don't start with me
You know,
now.
ever since we walked into this room, you've been behaving like a self-appointed public avenger.
I'm telling you to
You
shut
want
up.
to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the...
Shut up!
You're a sadist!
Shut up, you son of a bitch! I'm going, goddammit! I'll kill him! I'll kill him!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Is there anything wrong, gentlemen? I heard some noise.
No, nothing's wrong. Just a little argument. Everything's okay. We're finished with that.
Well, what are you staring at?
Well, I suppose someone has to start it off again.
It's getting late. What do they do, take us out to a restaurant for supper?
I don't know.
I wonder if they let us go home in case we can't finish tonight. I got a boy with the mumps. He's out to here. The wife says he looks like Khrushchev.
Pardon, this fighting, this is not why we are here, to fight. We have a responsibility. This is, I think, is the extraordinary thing about democracy, is that we are, what is the word, notified. That we are notified by mail to come down to this place and decide on the guilt or innocence of a person we have never heard of before. We have nothing to lose or gain by our verdict. This is one of the reasons why we are strong. We should not make it a personal thing.
If no one else has an idea, I may have a cutie here. Just off the top of my head. Anyway, let me throw it out on the stoop and see if the cat licks it up.
See if the cat.
Well, I guess it wasn't much of an idea anyway.
Look how dark it's getting. We're gonna have that storm. Boy, it's hot. Pardon me. Don't you sweat?
No, I don't.
Hey, listen, I was wondering if maybe we shouldn't take another vote.
Hey, that's a great idea. Maybe we could follow it up this time with dancing and refreshment.
Mr. Foreman?
It's all right with me. Anyone doesn't want to vote?
I think we ought to have an open ballot. Call out your votes, you know? Let's see who stands where.
That sounds fair. Anybody object? The last vote was 8-4 in favor of guilty, all right? I'll call off your jury numbers. I vote guilty, number 2.
Not guilty.
Number 3.
Guilty.
Number 4. Guilty. Number 5.
Not guilty.
Number 6.
Not guilty.
Number 7.
Guilty.
Number 8.
Not guilty.
Number 9.
Not guilty.
Number 10.
Guilty.
Number 11.
Not guilty.
Number 12.
Guilty.
6 to 6.
And we go into extra innings here.
Joke. A kid like that?
I don't think the kind of a boy he is has anything to do with it. The facts are supposed to determine the
Don't
case.
give me any of that. You can twist the facts any way you like. You know what I mean?
That's exactly the point this gentleman has been making. I mean, you keep shouting at the top of your lungs. I'd like to be a little younger. It's very hot in here.
Do you want some water?
No thanks.
It's gonna rain.
Oh, yeah? How'd you figure that one out, Blue Eyes? So tell me, how come you switched?
Well, I don't know. It seemed to me that
Come on, you don't have to let this stand on, you know that.
Well, I don't agree. There were a lot of details that
What
never
details?
came out.
Listen, you're just letting yourself get bulldozed by a bunch of intellectuals.
No, that's not so.
Yeah, sure it is. You're like everybody else. You think too much. You get mixed up. Know what I
Now
mean?
listen, I don't think you have any right to talk to me. Loudmouth.
Wow, look at that come down, will you? Think it'll cool things off?
Yeah, I guess so.
Boy, look at it go. Huh. It reminds me of that storm we had November or something. Boy, I'll never forget that. What a storm, right in the middle of a game. Huh. We're behind 7-6, but we're just starting to move the ball off tackle, you know? Boom, boom. Huh. Boy, I'll never forget that. We had this kid, Slattery, a real ox. Wish I had another one like him. Oh, probably forgot to tell you, I'm assistant head football coach at the Andrew J. McCorkle High School. That's in Queens. Yeah. So anyway, we're just starting to move real nice. The other team's falling apart. I'm telling you, the Slattery kid. And all of a sudden, it starts to come down cats and dogs. I'm telling you, in 2 minutes, it was mud practically up to your ass.
Hey, how about trying to fix this fan in here, huh? What do you say?
Huh?
But it must have been connected to the light switch.
Some rain, huh? Well, how do you like this thing? It's even Stevens. Kind of surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, that business before, you know, where that guy was baiting me, I mean, that doesn't prove anything. I mean, I'm a very excitable person, you know, so where does he get off to call me a public avenger and a sadist and everything? Anybody in his right mind blow his stack, wouldn't he? He was just trying to bait me.
He did an excellent job.
Well, okay, maybe he did. I told you, I can't help that kind of thing. I'm a certain type of person. I get moved by this, but let me tell you, I'm sincere.
Fine, we all are.
Was it a joke? 6 to 6?
What are we going to do about it? Can we break it somehow?
Those 6 bastards in there aren't going to change their mind.
5 of them have changed their minds already. There's no reason why they can't be persuaded to do it again.
How?
Just by using logic.
Logic, holy
No,
cow.
no, just you listen to this man. He's the only one
You
in
want
the
to know
room.
what I think?
Go ahead.
I think we should just quit.
What the hell are you talking about?
Those 6 guys in there, they're like they're on some kind of mission or something. They're not going to switch. Let's go and tell the judge we're hung. For Christ's sakes, we'll be here all night. To hell with this. What am I going to do? Break my brains over scum like
This
this?
ridiculous thing. You took an oath in the courtroom. You can't just quit.
Why not?
It's dishonest. Why do you vote not guilty?
I voted guilty because I think he's guilty.
But now you don't care what happens?
No, why should I?
All right, let's just stop this. It's not going to get us anywhere.
What does he want? I gave my honest opinion.
I know.
I suppose you don't think much of it.
No, I don't.
We'd like to get started here again if you don't mind.
Excuse me.
How about him? Is that something?
A hung jury doesn't mean anything. You just have to start the trial with another jury. That's not what we're here for.
What the hell's the difference? A hung jury's what you're gonna get.
Look, would you please?
Listen, I tell you what I think. We're going nowhere here. I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare this a hung jury.
Hey, I go with that too. I say let's take it into the judge and let this kid take his chances with 12 other guys.
I don't think the court will accept a hung jury. We haven't been in here very long.
Well, let's find out.
No, I'm not in favor of this.
Hey, look, this kid wouldn't stand a chance with another jury, and you know it. Come on, we're hung. No one's going to change his opinion. Let's take it inside.
Don't you think there's any room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't. But pardon.
perhaps you don't fully understand the meaning of the phrase reasonable
What
doubt.
do you mean I don't understand? Who the hell are you to talk to me like that? God damn it, I tell you, these guys are all alike. He comes to our country running for his life, and the next thing you know, before he takes a big breath, he's telling us how to run the show, huh? The arrogance of the guy.
You mean you're calling him arrogant because he wasn't born here? Well, I'm calling you arrogant because you were. How's that?
Hey, listen, sonny, nobody's going to tell me what words I understand and what words I don't, especially him. Because I'll knock his goddamn Middle European head off.
All right, let's stop arguing for 2 minutes in here. Can't we stick to the subject?
There's something I'd like to go over, if you gentlemen don't mind. An important point for the prosecution was the fact that the boy, after claiming that he was at the movies during the time the killing took place, couldn't name the pictures that he saw of the stars who appeared in them. This gentleman has repeated that point in here several times.
That is correct. It was the only alibi the boy offered, and he himself couldn't back it up with any details at all.
Well, putting yourself in the boy's place if you can, do you think you could remember details after an upsetting experience, such as being struck in the face by your father?
I do, if there are any special details to remember. He couldn't remember the movies at the theater he named because he wasn't there that night.
Well, according to the police testimony in court, he was questioned by the police in the kitchen of his apartment, while the body of his father was lying on the floor of the bedroom. Do you think you can remember details under such circumstances?
I do.
Under great emotional stress.
Under great emotional stress.
Well, you know, he named the pictures in the court, he named them correctly, and he named the stars who appeared in them.
Yes, the lawyer took great pains to point that out. He'd had 3 months from the night of the murder to the day of the trial in which to memorize them. I'll take the testimony of the policeman who interrogated him the night of the murder when he couldn't remember any details at all, great emotional stress or not.
I'd like to ask you a personal question.
Go ahead.
Where were you last night?
At home.
What about the night before last?
Come on, what is this?
All right. I left the court, went to my office, stayed there till 8:30, then I went straight home to bed.
And the night before that?
Tuesday night. Tuesday night was the night of the bridge tournament. I played bridge.
And Monday night?
Hey, when you get him down on New Year's Eve, 1950, let me know.
Monday night. Monday night, I took my wife to the movies.
Where'd you see?
The Scarlet Circle. It's a very clever whodunit.
What was the second feature?
I'll tell you in a minute. It was the remarkable Mrs. something, Mrs. The remarkable Mrs. Bainbridge. Yes.
Excuse me, I saw that. It's called The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge.
The amazing Mrs. Bainbridge. Yes, I believe that's correct.
Who was in The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge?
Well, it was a Barbara Long, I think. She was a dark, very pretty girl. Barbara Lane, something like that. Well, I don't remember. It was a very inexpensive double feature with unknown actors.
And you
no great
weren't
book.
under an emotional strain here, were you?
No, I wasn't.